Dr. Mike.
You can just call me Mike.
Mike, all right.
So Doug,
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
How did you find out about me?
I saw your ad in the paper.
Okay, all right. And so what are we talking about today? What can I do for you?
Well, I've been feeling really anxious about my money situation. I just don't have a lot of it.
Okay. So by you don't have a lot of it, what do you mean?
I am a couple weeks away from being homeless.
Homeless, okay.
I may get kicked out of my place, and I'm really worried about that. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, so you're worried about being kicked out of your place,
Right.
where you live. You live by yourself?
Yes,
Yes.
with my cat.
With your cat?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I see. And tell me about your job. Where do you work?
I work at a computer consulting firm where we go and we help people fix their computers. It's a pretty good gig. I make about $25 an hour helping people. My biggest issue is when I feel anxious, I typically spend too much money buying stuff I really don't need. You know, I bought 12 ShamWows the other day. I don't know why, just sort of bought them.
And so you have these ShamWows at your house?
Right.
Wow, okay. And do you get steady work, or is it on and off, or?
It's about 30 hours a week, so it's not really full-time yet, but I'm hoping I can get the full-time job. I just sort of come in when I'm needed.
Would you say that your total money that you make would cover your bills, except for your extra spending?
Yeah, I mean, I make enough to cover rent, which is about $800 a month, utilities, another $200, so I easily cover that.
Okay. And so, do you think that the anxiousness comes because you're spending too much? Or do you think that you feel anxious and spending extra makes you feel better?
Right.
No, right to the first question or the second question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I've never done this before.
That's okay. Me either.
Wow, okay.
Okay, so, well, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Tell me about, you have friends you hang out with?
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends. I wouldn't say I'm terribly close to anybody ever since I moved from home, but I have a few friends I hang out with on the weekends.
And what do you guys like to do?
Play basketball, Xbox, go downtown, clubbing, you know.
Okay.
And I tend to spend a little too much clubbing too, I think.
Yeah? Okay. All right.
You know what clubbing is?
That's where you hit people on the top of the head with clubs,
No,
right?
go into the nightclubs. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what made you decide to come see me?
Well, I recently had a one-night stand that cost me $5,000, and I'm really in the hole. So that's sort of the source of my financial issues.
$5,000.
$5,000, yeah, it was a good time. But,
$5,000 US.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, how did you save up $5,000?
I've been saving, you know, ever since I was about 16, and I just sort of blew my savings all in one weekend because I just had too much to drink, and now I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have that cushion anymore.
Okay. $5,000. So what I hear you saying is that you're anxious about money, but there was a time when you had enough money.
Right. I wasn't. So this is.
But just recently you overspent.
Yes.
And now you don't have money. When is your rent due?
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now.
Right.
How much do you think that you will earn between now and 2 weeks from now?
About $800, but that doesn't leave enough for food. You know, what am I going to eat?
Right.
What about, you know, the things I like to buy? So I don't know how I'm going to afford everything.
Okay. Well, let's talk about your expenses. You say that you'll have about $800 between now and 2 weeks from now.
Right.
How much would you say your rent is each month?
It's between 800 and 1,000, depending on how much damage I do to the place.
Okay. Well, let's assume that you don't do any damage between now and
Okay, then it would be about $800.
$800, okay. So at $800, and you'll be making $800 between now and then. Tell me about your other support systems around you. Do you attend church anywhere?
I haven't been able to find a good church. You know, I moved in about 6 months ago, and just haven't been able to connect with anybody. My parents are, you know, on the other side of the country, so I may have to call them for Western Communion, but I don't know if they will. I sort of left on a bad note with them, and I haven't spoken to them in the last 6 months.
Okay.
So I just sort of recently found out about this computer job, and although I can make $25 an hour, I don't always have the work.
But you think that you'll have $800 between now and 2 weeks from now?
I'm pretty sure I
When the
can
rent is due.
get with the rent, right. I just don't know about, you know, food, any other extra income. Now that I've blown my savings,
Right.
I just don't have that cushion anymore.
Okay. Now, what about other sources of income? So you said that this was kind of a part-time job. Have you looked for other sources of income?
The job market's so hard, I can't really find another good place to get employed.
Right.
You know, I don't really want to work for minimum wage, but, you know, I guess I may have to.
What kind of things would you be willing to do to turn things around?
I don't know. I sort of like to buy things, you know. It's just, it makes me feel better. So I like living pretty decently, you know. I like having some fairly nice stuff. I don't need luxurious things. As far as what I'm willing to do you think I should get another job?
Well, that could be an option. If the money you're making now isn't enough to cover everything that you're trying to accomplish, then you need to increase your income. That would be an obvious situation. Economically, you would have a choice of increasing income or decreasing outgo. So that would be one choice. Tell me about, let's talk about feeling better. You said that spending money makes you feel better.
Right.
Are you feeling bad prior to spending the money?
You know, something will get me down. Like, girlfriend doesn't, you know, rejects me. I stood up, you know, things at work. Sometimes people will just be really rude, and I'll go out and I'll buy something, whether it's, you know, 12 ShamWows or a new PlayStation. It's just I get a high off of buying something new.
So you have a girlfriend?
Had one.
Till when?
About 3 weeks ago.
And how long were you with her?
I met her about a month after I got here. So it was a, you know, pretty decent relationship there, but it just sort of ended poorly. Started a decline. I bought some things, and then I tapped into my savings and tried to sort of get over her.
Tell me about that relationship. What do you think caused the relationship to end?
She met someone else and just sort of left out of the blue.
Okay. Everything was going along okay up to that point?
You know, I thought it was, but you know, she just sort of was out of the blue. It was really weird, you know.
Right.
I don't know if what I did or.
What was her name?
Her name was Jessica.
Jessica.
Yes.
Like Simpson.
Right.
Okay. And you and Jessica would go out regularly, or just every now and then?
Once or twice a week.
Were you living together?
I was just about to ask her, you know, and obviously the answer was no.
Right, sure. So about 3 weeks ago, she decided to leave. The extra spending that you were doing, were you doing that during the relationship, or did that start after the relationship?
I guess it was during, you know. I'd still have sort of moments where I wanted to buy something just out of the blue. It was never, you know, thousands of dollars worth of stuff. It would just be like, you know, I got these sunglasses on a whim. They were $200 sunglasses. And she didn't really say anything. She just sort of looked at me and shook her head.
So let's go back to a couple of nights ago, I think you said, that you had a $5,000
Yeah,
evening.
that was a,
What were you feeling prior to that evening?
I just felt like I was worthless. You you know, that nobody would ever love me again.
Because of Jessica.
Right.
So you felt worthless. Tell me about worthless. What was going through your mind to make you feel that way? What were the, be more specific about that.
The worthless feeling, you know, I just felt that nobody else would ever feel that way. I felt depression kick in. You know, it reminded me a lot of the rejection I felt from my parents 6 months ago. Sort of brought those on again. It made me feel like I had nobody in my life.
So after $5,000, do you have somebody in your life now?
No, it was a drunken stupor, and I'm really worried because I got nobody, you know, go to anymore.
Okay. So if I can recap, you had a relationship for a while with Jessica.
Right.
And things were going along okay till about 3 weeks ago, when she left. You have a habit of spending maybe a little more than you should, not necessarily too much in excess, until a couple of nights ago when it went into major excess. And so now you're nervous about meeting your bills because of that one event.
Right.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what would you like to work on with me? Is it about finding a way to pay your bills? Is it about finding a way to stop the extra spending? Is it about finding a way to feel comfortable with yourself so that you're not as reliant on other people's feelings? What is it specifically that you would like to address first?
I guess I would like to deal with the relational side of it, because I don't know if the way I feel about people affects what I spend. Maybe that's a trigger thing. So I would guess how to manage my relationships better, along with my current financial situation, how I fix that. So,
okay. All right. Well, I think that we have a handle on that. And why don't you think about some of those things more concretely between now and the next time we see each other. And we will start talking about these feelings of maybe loneliness that you expressed, or these feelings of inadequacy that you expressed, and see if we can't discover exactly what those mean. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Well, it's nice to meet you, Doug.
Nice to meet you too, Mike.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for listening to me.
All right.